Hey, what's up graders? I am Zard and this is Gems of War. Today we're going to take a look at beginner teams again. This is my second account. My hero is pretty low leveled, level 527. My stats aren't very high. Dungeons, for example, can be very difficult for low level players. So I'm going to show you a couple team options that you could maybe consider using if you're struggling with these dungeon battles. Let's start by finding some rooms or enemies, so to say, or traps. Okay, some jewels. Okay, and maybe this isn't trap. Oh, it was web. Oh well, that's really unfortunate. But I have a trick for that. A Tesla team. Now, you might know, maybe, if you have followed my channel or other YouTube Gems of War channels, that double Tesla teams are pretty effective. However, as a low-level player, you probably won't have two Teslas, or in general struggle to generate mana for this Tesla. Tesla deals 8 true scatter damage, which is boosted by all ally and enemy armor. Well, I don't have much armor, or my hero has 68, 22, but the enemy team, however, does have a lot armor here in the level 16 dungeon. Look at that, 174. This means that this Tesla troop and his true scatter damage scales. So we don't necessarily need two Teslas. One is enough as long as we can keep our turn and keep casting our troops. Here in the first slot I'm using a very basic weapon, Mountain Crasher. This explodes a magic amount of brown gems. Basically a mana generator weapon. You could use some other weapons over here, but I found that, well, first of all, as you are a low leveled player, you have to protect your hero from skull bashes. So when we are using this elementalist class that sun freezes and burns and entangles the enemies when you are matching 4 or more gems, that helps. And also when we have that storm aura and, more importantly, rock solid that gains a barrier when matching brown gems, that is going to help keeping your hero alive, who basically in this build is just a meat shield. However, of course, if you get your Mountain Crusher up, which will happen when you pick those brown gems to get that barrier, you can generate some mana over here. But our hero over here is just to provide some protection with the Elementalist third trait, and these Court Jester and Alchemist are our main mana generators. Even though it's pretty nice to spam that Mountain Crusher, but that is not as effective as generating mana in some other ways. Court Jester here destroys a row and column and then creates 5 red gems, and the red gem amount is boosted by skulls destroyed. Every skull is worth 2 more red gems. As you can see, the boost ratio is times 2 over there. So we can pick an area where we have most skulls for the row and the column, and then this troop will create red gems for Tesla and then red gems to Alchemist as well. Alchemist over here transforms a selected mana color to yellow. So after we cast our Tesla, we can then cast Alchemist to generate yellow back to Court Jester and then get more mana again over here by destroying again row and column that has most skulls. Are you following me? Maybe we could go and try this team in practice. And if we go and take a look again over here, the web trap inflicts web on all allies at the start of the battle. That is really annoying if you have empowered troop like Leprechaun, or if you have some other troops that aren't immune to web. Here we don't have to suffer from the web too much, because none of these troops use magic on their spell. Well, of course, Alchemist is going to gain probably 3 gold, maybe, because he's webbed, and Mountain Crusher won't explode gems because he's webbed. But again, our main priority is to get Court Jester going, who then will generate some mana to Tesla and Alchemist. Okay, now let's try this team in practice. And once again, we want to get that barrier up. Of course, we take a look at the extra turns first. I can't see any, so let's take this brown over here to get that barrier on. Then we can start focusing on that Court Jester mana generation. So we take this yellow to feed Court Jester. We are going to get the brown gem match over here too, and a nice cascade as well. Now, because my Mountain Crusher is webbed, we won't cast it because it explodes exactly 0 gems. What we can do now, because we are parried, we can again focus on getting Court Jester up, but unfortunately we don't have much gem matches over here. So let's take this. Yeah. Then we take this and get the barrier back up. But let's take that first to get some protection. Now we could actually convert yellow gems with our Alchemist, but let's take a look how this Court Jester spell works. Take those extra turns first. For example, over here we have 2 skulls in this row and 2 skulls in this column. So what we are going to do, let's slow down this game speed over here. We pick this, exactly this gem, so that it will destroy this row and this column. Check out the mana generation over here. So much rage and extra turns as well. Very effective mana generator for low level players. Right? Now our Tesla is webbed as well, but take a look at the damage what she is going to deal. 298 true damage to the whole enemy team. There, scatter damage. Now let's see if we have our Mountain Crusher is still webbed, so we could convert these brown gems to yellow to feed Court Jester. Then we are going to use this and this, because this column has 2 skulls and this row has 3 skulls. So let's pick this skull over here and look at all those red gems that are going to get generated. Do we have barrier? Yes, we do. So we can go and cast our Tesla there, and we need another cast as well. Now we could convert brown gems again to yellow, but we could also cast our Mountain Crusher. But again, I think controlling the board is a lot more better for low level players than exploding the board and pray what happens. However, the top troop is entangled, so we could just go and cast our Mountain Crusher because we don't have to worry about skulls that much. We can convert purple to yellow, and we get our Tesla up with the cascade, and there, it's done. Now, when you learn to use this team, this is a lot more faster than because I'm explaining everything to you. So let's go and try this again over here. Against that King Bone Dragon. Again, we gotta protect our hero. Let's take that. We get the little skull poke over there too. Now we have the barrier, so we try to find purple or yellow for our Court Jester. We're barriered. Let's take that. Oh, did we just give an extra turn for them? Yes, I think we did. Let's take barrier again. Because we are now barriered, we could go and explode the board, but there's not much brown gems over there though. So let's take that. And one more yellow or purple and we are good to go. I think we're going to go and cast our Mountain Crasher here. Yes, that was very nice cascade. We are barriered, so we can go and cast Tesla for the first time. They take the skulls, and now we are going to generate absolutely massive amount of red gems because this row has 4 and this column has 3 skulls. So take a look at this. Bam! That is amazing. Very good troop. We are barriered, we can go and cast Tesla. Yes. And we can now go and convert purple to yellow. Yes, to Court Jester. Here we have 3 and here we have 3. So let's pick this gem and generate absolute massive amount of red gems again. One more cast, which will be the last one. There. It's pretty effective team as long as you can get your troops going. Now, sometimes you are inflicted with deathmark and freeze and silence, etc. So that is when Queen Beatrix is very good troop to have, as long as you have traded her fully. That Royal Honey trait, cleanse all allies when matching 4 or more gems, is very good in dungeons and high level fights when the enemies are going to inflict you with status effects. Here, for example, my Leprechaun explodes only 5 green gems. It's not very good, but it's not totally useless either. However, I know I'm webbed at the start of the battle, so I could maybe go and swap another Beatrix over here, because I have to, and then just spam my way to the victory. And one more thing, the enemy is going to, by the way, summon a Dark Storm, because that's what these dragons do. So String Fiddler over here won't summon a Leaf Storm at the start of the battle. That is one of the key things with Beatrix and String Fiddler combo. We're gonna use Elementalist class to help with the protection. Then we can loop with Beatrix, and then we can silence enemies as well with String Fiddler. And again, the Leaf Storm at the start of the battle helps tremendously with Beatrix loops. Let's go and try this, how this fares. And if you have a bad board or you lose troops, there's nothing wrong by starting the fight again. We could take that. And now we can start silencing the enemies if there is need for that. Let's take some barrier protection. And I think we are going to... This is annoying. We are going to silence that Nyx. String Fiddler, as long as he isn't frozen, he is going to get extra turn after the silence and the small explosion that he does. Even though he, in my case, explodes only 4 gems, that is still pretty nice and usually helps keeping your turn and continuing with the loops. Okay, now we got our Beatrix up. So we can try how the true scatter damage is going to work. Not very well, but let's cast our String Fiddler there. We could cast our Mountain Crasher now because the enemy is entangled. Let's try again. We are not looping very well with Beatrix today, but I think we are going to get this work. Take those extra turns. Use String Fiddler to generate some mana. We can now go and cast our Mountain Crasher. This will explode this, and we are guaranteed with an extra turn. Now both our Beatrixes are up, and we can start the proper spamming. It's a small damage per enemy, but it's better than struggling with some other troops. Those spam bees keep the enemies entangled and frozen. and there, done. I prefer to use the Tesla team, but sometimes you have to use Beatrix or some other cleanse mechanic. For example, yellow dungeon day is really annoying because there is that silence trap that silences your troops. So Beatrix is pretty nice when you just get an extra turn. You can start casting your troops after that, because Beatrix cleanses all allies with the extra turns. There. I think we could go and try how the Tesla team works in Explorer. I think though that yeah, these are actually higher enemies than what Explorer 12 is. 170, 180, 180, and Explorer 12 is 150 level enemies. We have the midstone bonus over here, so let's go and try how this works. Now I think I'm going to use these both teams here in Explorer 12. Oh, I can't type. Let's slot that leprechaun back in and let's try how this works with just single Beatrix. This Leaf Storm is going to make a lot of difference now. We have some greens which we are going to explode. Yeah, let's take that. And now check this out. That Leaf Storm really helps with the cascades. V is going back up, and if some enemy is dangerous or you miss your cast, you can always just go and cast your String Fiddler, and maybe that will help with the mana gains to your Beatrix. Looks pretty well. For example, now we could go and cast on you. Yeah, we get extra turn because String Fiddler is goblin. Again, let's explode you. Yeah, and Beatrix keeps going. The fight is less than a minute with my stats when things go right. Okay, and let's try Tesla as well. Now if you have two Teslas, you could always use two and speed up the fight a little bit, but I quite like Alchemist. It helps with the looping. Let's take some rock solid barrier. Yeah. Is this? Yeah, I give a skull poke if I take that. So let's take that. Okay. We are barriered. We can cast our Tesla. We are going to this row and this column. Okay, that wasn't very good cost, but it's better than nothing. Yellow, purple, brown, no. Okay, let's take that red over there. Now we get our Court Jester up. Ouch. Maybe some entanglement with the green conversion. The yellows won't help us now, but I was hoping for some entangle. Do we have? Yeah, we have a blue match over there, and this should be the last cast from this. Yeah, little bit shaky, but it works pretty fine though, regardless. Pet food is good, cheap and good. Okay, let's take one more try. Extra turns there. There. Okay, 3 and 1, and this is hopefully this generates an extra turn for us. Yes, it does, and it was a very good conversion. We are barriered, so we can go and cast Tesla now. And do we have skulls too? And this is not a very good board, so we could shuffle it up a little bit. But we don't have a yellow extra turn either. I don't want to convert red gems to yellow, so we this. Oh, but now 2, still not good, but let's take that. Okay, now I think we are good, yeah. This is 2 and 3. Let's take that. Nice, nice, cascades. And cost Tesla. Yellow 2. We are casting our Mountain Crasher now. And that's enough for the wipe. That kind of thing. Let me know in the comments what kind of beginner teams you are using. I get a couple more in my pocket, for example for Mung and other gem converters and skull generators. But maybe I show that for some another time. Has this out. Peace.